What's the vibe? Welcome to Road to 100 kg Bench Press episode 5. And the episode right before this, episode 4, was week 1 of this mesocycle. This is the final week of this mesocycle before a deload, week 4. So I'm starting with 70 kg for 5. In week 1, the first week, I did 60 kg for 8 for 2 sets. And week 4 I'm doing 70 for 5, and then I do 67.5 for 5. Now, to be honest, that's not crazily impressive, to be honest, but I would say probably the thing that's probably done best might be my weighted dips, which is immediately after. It comes right after bench press. And from week 1, 2, 3, and 4, I've done the exact same exercises. So in week 1, I did 60 kg for 2 sets of 8. Then I did weighted dips with a 20 kg plate for 10. And then I did the same 20 kg plate for 8. Then I did machine flies. I did 45 kg for 6. Then I did 45 for 6 again. Then I did dumbbell lateral raises. And then I did deficit push-ups for 9 reps and then 7 reps. And I've literally, so I've done 4 kg when it comes to lateral raises. I've used 4 kg the entire time. This isn't my only bench press day. I do have another bench press day, but to get into that is gonna confuse you. So we're going to stick to what I do on Mondays. So this is just strictly what I do on Mondays, and I do the exact same exercises every Monday. Bench press, strictly rightly followed, as you'll see right now, by weighted dips. And if I was to say what I did on week 2, I did 22 kg for 10 reps, and then I did 22 kg for 5 reps, and then I burnt out with just body weight dips for 10. In week 3, I did 25, I used the 25 kg plate and did for 9 reps and then 7 reps. And as we can see here today, I am strapping up with not just the 25 kg plate, but with an extra 2.5 added on. So I do 27.5 for 10, then I do 27.5 for 8, and then after all of that, I go on to do 25 kg plate for 10. So yeah, coming back to week 1 though, after the weighted dips we do flies. As I said, I did 45 kg in week 1. In week 2, I did 45, but I did more reps again. In week 3, well, this is flies we're on about 45 again, but I did 8. And then in week 4, I actually did 43.6, but I did that for 10. And then I did that for 9. So funnily enough, flies have been probably the thing that have gone up the least, I'd say. Obviously the reps have gone up slightly, but now that I'm looking back at it, it's not that the flies have been probably the weakest. So the lateral raises, as I said, I've only used 4 kg the entire time for that. And after we'll do the lateral raises after the flies. But yeah, I do my heavy pressing at the start, then I do flies, then I do some shoulders, and then I go on and I finish off with push-ups. That's literally just been my standard week 1 chest day. I've not put up more. I've done basically the same amount of sets. All I've done is try to increase either the reps or the weight. And yeah, so essentially for lateral raises, I do for 14 reps, then I do 9 reps, and I do 7. And if I move on to this week 4, I did it for 17 reps in the first set, then 12, and then 10. And then finally, I finished off with deficit push-ups. In week 1, we did 9 reps and then 7. And in week 4, we're doing 13 reps, then 11. So, yeah. And it's a bit confusing, everything I've just said, but as we get on and on into the other exercises, you'll see what I mean. And the only reason I'm doing so much talking in this one is because the last video literally had no talking, and it was just me. I didn't even have the flies in it. If you read the description, you'd know what exercises I left out. But this update is basically because I'm at the end of the mesocycle, and this month essentially was all about getting me back to where I was, which it was approximately successful, getting back to where I had left off before my sickness. So I am essentially back to where I was. So from here on out, it's going to be new gains, new lifts, and the road to 100 kg bench continues. Looking back at everything, I think my flies need to improve, and therefore I think my chest. You know what? I'm considering adding in two more sets of heavy chest presses, and I'm considering incline dumbbell press. And what I might do is leave the deficit push-ups at the end out of it and try to just play around with that instead. Otherwise, I have a feeling maybe I'll still include the push-ups, who knows, but I'm also considering going from 4 days a week to 5 days a week. I want to, so to let you know what my current program is, I do push, pull, legs, then a full body day. That way, hitting every muscle group approximately. But what I'm gonna start doing is doing push, pull, legs, upper, lower. So yeah, basically I'm gonna, and the main reasoning is because I really want to emphasize a bit more of my benching. I do bench on my full body day, but it's like I've got squats and deadlifts also on that day, so and then I do like curls and lateral raises and calves or some shit. And then I do like small muscle groups after that. And I think I do pull-ups. Yeah, I do weighted pull-ups because these are the real test of whether you are a man or not. No, I'm joking, not really. But yeah, as I come up to my stupid looking face on this, my gosh, it's like he's got diarrhea. He's constipated, mate. Bloody hell. Anyways, the lighting in this place, oh my lord. Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. The lighting in here was going wild. I do not look that good in real life, lads. Don't let it fool you. Lighting really makes a difference. But in any scenario, these are now the lateral raises, and I do 17 reps. And man, do lateral raises burn, my brothers. And I guess the two sisters that do watch these videos. But yeah, we do lateral raises, and honestly, for the last bit of this whole recording, I do this typical, I show the full workout in this one, and then I go on to do a little pose down at the end. But one thing about me speaking about all of this is because people like results, but no one likes to think about the process. No one likes to think about what it takes to get to even the process itself, what the willpower it takes, the discipline, the early days, the late nights and stuff like that. People, the rain, the cold. People don't want the hot, the heat. No, people don't want to talk about what it takes. But people see results and they like to just go on about results. So me making these videos is really my way of saying, and here's a bit of a post down, is my way of basically saying, if you really want to know what I do to get my size, you can watch these videos, you can listen to what I'm saying, you can do exactly what I'm doing. Stop asking me questions. If you really want to know, watch the video, stop asking me questions. At least watch the video first full through, and then I'll know at the very least you're at least a bit serious, and I'll talk to you about it. Because the reality is, most of the people, they're looking for answers they've never heard before. They're looking for eureka moments. When someone comes to you about, like, what do you do for this, what do you do for that, what do you eat, they're thinking you're gonna tell them something they've never heard before. But the reality is, they're gonna hear the same thing they've been hearing from everyone else. You want to lose weight, eat less, move more. You want to gain weight, eat more, move less. If you want to gain muscle, do a bit of weightlifting, do progressive overload, push yourself. It's not rocket science. Really, literally everything I've said is all you really need to do. Like, people get so tunnel visioned in on the weights, and I know my thing is pretty damn detailed, but really, the basics are all you need. If I came into this gym 3 days a week, did push-ups, pull-ups, squats, and went home, I'd be bolo after 6 months of consistent training. That is the truth. Maybe I'd be a bit more bolo in some places, maybe a bit less bolo in other places. But at the end of the day, I'd still be absolutely bolo. And yeah, I just had to go on a bit of a rant here. Made my mouth a bit dry. Where's my water? By the way, make sure you stay hydrated, everyone. Don't make sure you're drinking water, especially if you're having creatine. Come on. Delicious. And I had to say that rant quickly, but coming up to this last bit of the workout, I'm not usually a person who's ever done shoulders, but I am now seeing the benefit of what some lat some side lat raises in your push day can do a bit of justice, because you never really do work the side lat. Like, you do work the front delts and the rear delts, but the side delts don't get a lot of love in your day-to-day push day trainings. So I have learned to just include 3 sets to them, to basically failure in all my training now. And yeah, the last bit is some calisthenics work. In most of my training, you'll see compound lifts and bodyweight lifts. That's basically all I do, essentially. And today we have some deficit push-ups with a very deep deficit, and you'll see what I did to set up. You'll see. And yeah, I think today I do 13 and 11 reps or something of the nature. And I think in the first week I did like 9 and 7 at the end. And this is like, everything's been increasing slowly. So I have, and also in the last video, I would have shown that I was 62.8 kilograms. And as of today, I just stepped on the scale literally before recording this. I'm 65 kg, but yesterday I weighed in at 66 kg. So, water weight and things of that nature. So I'm gaining weight. I'm definitely gaining weight. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that much. I'm gaining weight. So, lifts increasing, weight increasing. That's all good signs of you building muscle. So yeah, and maybe you guys can be the judge of this last part, but I personally feel like there's a very slight change to the physique. Not a big one, but I feel like I look like how I did before I got sick, basically. Because I could see that I had lost a bit of muscle in this feet, I feel like. But yeah, you guys will see. Yeah, and lovely push up at the end, and you guys can see the final pose down here coming up. And yeah, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna be continuing this road to 100 kg bench series. And yeah, this has been RasLunacy signing out.